is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee on a Wednesday, and I got my special guest co-host. She's the coolest. Kim Osario is here with me today.
Hi,
hey, Kim.
Angela.
Hey, Kim.
Hi.
And by the way, you guys, she is also, what would your title be? Is it executive producer?
Yes,
executive producer for The Impact, which just premiered on VH1 on Monday.
Yes.
So a lot of things going on, but we'll talk about her resume later. In the meantime, we're going to start this show off with some positivity, as we always do. It's also a Wealth Wednesday. And I do have an announcement to make myself today, so I'm excited. Ryan Serhant is going to be joining us, and Sarah Golan is going to be joining us today. Ryan Serhant, you know him from $1 Million Listing, Sell It Like Serhant. He's got a lot of amazing things going on, but he is like the king of branding and marketing and real estate. And so they'll be joining us today, and as you can imagine, my announcement has something to do with that. For Wealth Wednesday. Because, Kim, you know I dabble in real estate.
Dabble? Is that what you call it?
Well,
you're like a real estate mogul these days.
Well, we're going to call it something else during Wealth Wednesday, but you'll see about that later. In the meantime, let's spread some love. Let's spread some positivity. 800-292-5150 is a number. Let us know who you want to say something positive about. If it's a family member, a friend, somebody you saw on the news, we want to hear about it. 800-292-5150 is Way Up.
I'ma shine. Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and my guest host, Kim Osario, is here today. Hey, Kim. Kim, we got a lot to talk about later today, but in the meantime, while we get it started, who do you want to shine a light on?
I have to shine a light on my kids because that's the right thing to do.
Okay, how many kids you got?
I have 3, and I'm supposed to watch them, but they're getting older.
Yeah, so. They are. How old are your children?
Gosh, you just put me on blast. 14, 16, and 23.
Woo!
Yes,
baby.
Take my glasses off and stop trying
One
to be
of them is grown.
Yes,
One of your kids, she could be on the Impact.
Job for her?
She could be on the Impact.
She could, but she's not. Let's shine a light on the Impact cast, too.
Yeah, exactly, because that show just premiered, and I see some goings backs and forths on social media already, which we talked about yesterday during Yee Tea. But Kim, by the way, has executive produced a ton of other shows, and we're going to talk about those experiences. And she also is the former editor-in-chief of The Source, the only woman at that time, right?
At that time.
Yeah, at that time.
To get to the editor-in-chief position, because there were a lot of women that were there.
Editor-in-chief of The Source. So that's a big deal. But yeah, so shine a light on them kids, baby, because you've always worked a lot and worked really hard, but your kids are amazing.
Thank you.
Your daughter's like a TikTok star.
She was. And then just like any other TikTok star, she deleted her account.
All right, well, let's see who you guys want to shine a light on. 800-292-5150. Darius, who do you want to shine a light on?
Yes, I want to shine a light on my wife, Sade Jenkins Kelly. She's a real estate agent here in Virginia.
Okay.
With Charles Holloway experience. She's been doing phenomenal in the past 2 years, so I just want to shout her out. If you're looking for any rental properties, any investment properties, or anything like that, you can look her up on Facebook at Sade Jenkins Kelly Real Estate.
Oh, what made her decide to be a real estate agent?
Since, purchasing our first home, she's always had the love to, kind of helping people and putting them in, something that they can cherish forever, and make a difference in their family and things like that.
All right, well, shout out to Sade Jenkins. Today, for Wealth Wednesday, we'll be talking about real estate, so that'll be a good one. So thank you for calling. Shout out to Sade Jenkins in Virginia.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, that was Shine a Light, 800-292-5150, in case you couldn't get through. And when we come back, we have your Yee Tea. And listen, I was just talking to Kim, who's guest hosting today, and we've all made mistakes as far as liking the wrong thing, getting on somebody's live by accident. Well, we'll tell you who had to respond to some accusations that she was shading Janet Jackson. It's Way Up.
Way Up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee Tea. Way Up.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and the extraordinary journalist, executive producer, Kim Osario is here with me today.
Hello, I like that.
Guest hosting, and let's do some Yee tea. All right, Tina Knowles is responding to people saying that she was shading Janet Jackson's ticket prices. Somebody posted those ticket prices and had some criticism about it and compared it to Beyonce's Renaissance tour packages, and Tina liked it. And so, unfortunately, it was a mistake. And by the way, I've done this so many times, and I'm always like, do they see when I like it and unlike it by accident?
Yes.
Like, yeah, you've done that too.
I unlike it on purpose. I like it and then I unlike it.
Yes. And I'm like, oh man, I hope nobody saw that, caught that, thinks I like something that I didn't mean to like. Sometimes I'm putting my phone in my bag and it accidentally does a thing. You know, here's what she had to say though.
Being on the other side of that, I know better than anyone what a great production cost. And I would never criticize another artist, let alone Janet Jackson, who is the queen of production. What I am guilty of is going through when I'm in a big hurry and I don't have time to really read and liking things because I trust that these are people that I follow. That was a big mistake. I will never do that again.
Yeah, I do that too. Sometimes you just double tap and then you be like, oh, wait, I didn't mean to.
I fall into people's lives all the time. I fall in. If you see me on your live, I wasn't supposed to be there.
Fast,
it's an accident.
And it's the worst when they have like 3 people in the live and then you feel like, oh man, now I gotta kind of like stick around for a minute. But I will say one of these packages is $2,400.
I paid for Renaissance tickets.
How much did you pay?
It was a lot. It was like $1,500 for something. Kiana wanted to go.
Your daughter. And she's rich, ladies and gentlemen.
No, definitely not.
All right, now Britney Spears has allegedly been banned from the Four Seasons Hotel in L.A. According to reports, they said it was her bizarre behavior and that she stripped off by the pool. According to reports, staff at the Westlake Village Resort have been driven to frustration by her antics over the past year. They said that there were a lot of high-profile and wealthy guests who spend significant money for a business or a leisure, and they don't want to feel awkward or uncomfortable due to her actions. So now, even though she's an A-list celebrity, she can't just do whatever she wants.
Get her out of there. Get her out of there.
Would it make you uncomfortable?
Absolutely. I don't care. Celebrity, A-list, B-list, D-list. Just if you acted inappropriate, get out of here. Right. Especially if I pay my money to be somewhere.
And I'm trying to be relaxed. I probably would just be like, wow, that's wild. And then I would just go about my business. The other thing is when you're from New York, you see all kinds of crazy things all the time.
You're used to it.
You can't even have peace on the subway. You can't have peace walking down the block. When's
the last time you've been on a subway?
I take the train. It's a lot faster. And to be clear, my mom works for New York City Transit Authority. I've been taking the train since I was a kid. So
I'm scared.
All right. Lala Anthony is going to be creating tailor-made experiences for different communities. She is Airbnb's newest creative advisor. Let me text her right now. She says, I get to help Airbnb with their strategic alignment with entertainment partners, celebrities, influencers, studios, production companies, and all that stuff. I'm excited about bringing some really cool activations and experiences. So she has her own La La Land house that's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She did a whole tour of it. She designed it from top to bottom. And so it's a lot of little fun areas where you can take pictures and
I love that.
And that. Yeah.
How much is it?
You got to go look. It probably depends. But the bookings start actually today at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you can book the first 3 one-night stays, February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, for only stays. That's for one night. It's a promo. Then it's whatever the price is going to be.
100,000.
I have an Airbnb. I just want to put that out there. Look on my page and rent it out. It's beautiful. Dan was there. Right, Dan? He had a good time. A lot of people have gone and say they're Mashonda, whoever. Nice. So, check the references, 5 stars. All right. Anyway, when we come back, we have About Last Night. Whatever you did last night, we want to hear about it. And I had a fun celebration last night with somebody who has a project out right now that is Oscar nominated. 5 Oscar nominations. It's way up.
So, about last night. Last night. Here's how it went down.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Kim Osario is guest hosting with me, journalist extraordinaire, but also executive producer. Just run down a couple of the projects that you've executive produced, because I know, I want to know which ones you would like to talk about.
definitely The Impact New York, which just premiered this past week. I did my True Scam story.
That's right. The project with me and Jennifer
fellow
Williams.
executive producer Angela Yee. That's right. I've worked with Love and Hip Hop, Growing Up Hip Hop, Hustle in Brooklyn,
Black Ink.
Hustle and Soul, Black Ink, Chicago. One of the least favorite shows for me to do, but it was successful.
Hustle and Soul, that was the one with Pink Teacup?
Yes.
I saw that was lately coming back up because he opened a new restaurant in L.A., I believe.
That was a very hard show to produce.
I was on an episode of that, too.
You were. You came by the restaurant, right?
It was a fight, yeah. Speaking of restaurants, last night I was at a restaurant opening. It's called Aaliyah in Brooklyn. Now, I had went to like a dinner before they opened, but now they are officially open. It was their first day of reservations. So I wanted to make sure that I was there. It was packed. I mean, you have to make a reservation to go there. And there were a lot of amazing people in the building. But I was also with Erica Alexander.
Okay.
And she stars in American Fiction. But people know her as attorney at law Maxine Shaw from Living Single as well. But, she was in the Wu-Tang series on Hulu.
Right.
But anyway, that movie got nominated for 5 Oscars. So that was announced yesterday. And so I was like, let's celebrate. We were planning to go out anyway. So we went to the opening of the restaurant and it was really fun. The food was great. And my coffee uplifts people. And my tea is also on the menu.
Yeah. Well, you're a restaurant connoisseur.
I love restaurants.
Yes, you're like, every time I go, it's like a different restaurant with you. I'm like, okay.
And I love supporting like other business owners. So shout out to Aaliyah for an amazing experience. It was really fun to see what that's going to turn into.
Nice.
And, it was first night. Now, what did you do last night?
What did I do or who? I'm grown, sorry.
So that's what you were doing last night? You were inside?
How could I be inside? Oh, you mean I was inside the house?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mind is really, my mind
gosh.
is, sorry.
Kim, you must have had a night. And you do seem a little glowing
relaxed
today. So is this a serious thing or?
There go Angela Yee getting into business.
All right, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You might have to come on Lip Service and be a guest. All right. And you've seen her also guest hosting on Lip Service too, by the way. When we come back, tell us a secret. How appropriate. 800-292-5150 is the number. You get to remain anonymous. We will definitely not judge you no matter what your secret is. If it's something illegal, I cannot guarantee what can happen after that. But call us up 800-292-5150. Tell us a secret when we come back. And I feel like Kim is going to set it off. It's way up.
This is a judgment-free zone. Tell us a secret.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. My girl Kim Osario is here with me, guest hosting today.
Hey.
And you know this segment is Tell Us a Secret. People get to call up, be anonymous, and tell us a secret. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 800-292-5150. Anonymous caller, what's your secret?
Okay, so I have a boyfriend, and we've been dating. We've been dating for like the last 4 years, right? But it's been on and off, right? So one of the times where we was off, I end up connecting right back with my sugar daddy.
Okay.
And I've been seeing him still, even though me and my boyfriend got back together.
Okay, so, and your sugar daddy doesn't care what else you got going on, right?
That could be true, but he doesn't know. But my boyfriend knows about my sugar daddy.
Oh, your boyfriend knows about the sugar daddy and he's okay with it?
He's not okay. We fight about it all the time.
What do you have to do for your sugar daddy? Do you have sex or you just get gifts?
I just provide him with my energy. He loves my energy, so I provide him with that, and I love his. And he provides me with that.
Okay. Have you ever had a sugar daddy, Kim?
No, I've never had a sugar daddy. I want to know something.
Go ahead.
Like, do you use perks from your sugar daddy and give them to your boyfriend?
Yes.
So the sugar daddy's really both of y'all sugar daddy?
Don't put it like that. That's like games, Xbox.
Ooh.
The new one. I don't really know like the names of them, but I knew it was newer.
That is that man's daddy.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
He's like, listen, we're not breaking up.
Right.
At all.
All right. Thank you for calling.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Hello, anonymous caller. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
It's me and Kim Osario, and we want to hear your secret.
Okay, so It's this dude that's there that sit next to Dan. He's bald. I've been seeing him on your Instagram page. I haven't really crushed on him. And I definitely plan on, introducing myself to him.
Okay.
And him being my next victim. We already had this conversation about what I'm into, Angela.
Oh, you're into the scat play.
Yes.
Well, that would be, his name is Nayv. Mano calls him Nayv. He runs the boards up here. He's from Brooklyn.
Oh, from Brooklyn?
Yeah, he's from
Wow.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
She likes Brooklyn.
And if you follow his page, right, I think it's Nick Seale. Now, I know he's into some very strange things, too, so I think you guys would be a great couple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Are you serious? Well, what's his zodiac sign?
Cancer. You like cancers?
Oh.
Yes.
That sounds...
He's excited.
Okay.
Cancers are sensitive. You really have to take care of cancers. Yes, yes.
And I'm an Aquarius. I know cancers, they like to base things off emotion, and they like to blame you for their choices in life.
When is your birthday coming up then?
Yes, on the 6th. Oh, actually on the 6th, February 6th.
Okay, all right, Navy, you know what to do.
And also, too, Angela, that was the same day you started your show.
Oh. The show is an Aquarius also. All right, well, thank you for calling. You made his day.
Thank you, and hopefully I get to get put up on your Instagram so I can see his reaction.
Okay. Cannot wait. We cannot wait. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, well, that was Tell Us a Secret, and I feel like we also just made a love connection. And when we come back, we got Yeezy. Let's talk about Lil Wayne. He has a theory on why people hate on Drake. All right, we'll discuss it. It's way up.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea. Come and get the tea.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee with my journalist, executive producer friend, Kim Osario. And we're doing some Yee tea. All right. Now, Lil Wayne was on the Richard Sherman podcast on Friday. And one question that he was asked about why do people in hip hop hate on Drake?
Why they be hating on Drake like this?
He light skinned. That's history. That's just American history, man. That's American history. How I know is because I'm not light skinned. I hated on all light skinned dudes in school.
Kim, why you make that face?
Because I think
it's reverse history.
Listen, I think there's a difference between being light skinned and acting light skinned.
Okay.
And I think Drake be acting light skinned.
Do people hate on Drake though? I think it's about being successful. The more successful you are, the more people hate on you.
True.
I think it's a proportional thing. Like, first it's 1,000 people, right? And 700 love you, 300 hate you. But then when there's 1 million people that,
right,
it's 700,000 that love you, 300,000 that hate you. But the haters are louder always.
Yeah, but he also flosses a lot. So the more you floss, the more you're going to get hated on.
And then he does, like you said, when he was doing the influencer video recently where he was like putting on a face mask.
Yes, yes. Acting light skin.
Yeah. All right. Now, Common was on Late Night with Seth Meyers. He's been doing his runs recently because, he was on the Jennifer Hudson show too.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he talked about the 2010 NBA Celebrity All-Star Basketball game. You could tell this is something that bothered him because this was 14 years ago. But here's what he had to say about Michael Jordan critiquing him.
That year, I did great. I really thought I was going to get MVP. And I ended up, after the game, going to Michael Jordan's Brand Jordan party. And, he said, Common, come here. And I gave him a little love. And he said in my ear, stick to rapping and acting. I was like, Mike, man, I just killed it on the court, but not to him.
Ooh. Or maybe Michael Jordan felt threatened.
No, you know what it is? I think Michael Jordan is like the most competitive person in the world.
Right.
Like you're even going to compete with someone is not going to be
even
able
his
to
own kids.
Go
when
against you.
Marcus Jordan talked about that, how competitive.
He's super competitive.
All right. Well, could be that. Maybe he felt like Common might have challenged him.
Yes. Sure.
All right. Andre 3000 has announced his New Blue Sun live tour. Are you excited and do you want to go? Because he is going to be at the Blue Note Jazz Club. But it all kicks off in Brooklyn, January 29th. That's soon. That's in just a few days.
I want to go.
Yes, I'll be curious and interested to see what this is going to be like. And he's doing like smaller clubs. So I'm sure these are all going to sell out pretty quickly.
I'm sure.
by the way. And Offset has announced his first solo headlining tour in support of his Set It Off album. That's going to kick off in March in Philadelphia. His press release says, Set It Off is more than a phrase. It's a vibe we're creating together. This tour is not just a series of concerts. It's a journey into my mind. I'm ready to hit the road on my first solo headlining tour, bringing the heat and most importantly, giving the fans a new way to experience my music.
Okay.
I wonder if him and Cardi are back together.
Yeah, Set It Off is a movie to me.
The music and
I'm like, I keep thinking about the movie.
All right, Selena Gomez. This was a beautiful story. Timothy Bobrovitsky was sharing his stage 4 cancer journey on social media, and one of his dreams was to be noticed by Selena Gomez. Here's what he said.
So hear me out. I have stage 4 cancer in my lungs and my leg and everywhere else. I really need your help to make my childhood dreams come true. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm Selena Gomez's #1 fan. One of my bucket list items has always been to either meet Selena Gomez, just be recognized. Even if she just saw this video, honestly, I could die peacefully.
And he said he's been a fan of hers for more than a decade, by the way. And she did end up seeing it. And she sent him a message, what's your Insta? And here's how he responded.
I cannot believe this is real life. Thank you all so much. My whole life, I've just tried to be noticed by her. And it's happening all because of you guys.
The Wish, got millions and millions of
That's
people
beautiful.
recognizing it. Is there anybody that you would want to meet that badly?
No. And I was listening to how
rude.
I am rude. I was
just excited.
I know. I was like, wow, like just the feeling. It just made me feel warm and fuzzy because I was like, if I was going through that, like, would I be able to like receive it so nicely and like post on Instagram so nicely? Like,
I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Shout out to Selena Gomez. And that's your Yee Tea. When we come back, it's time for Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They're flying under the radar. Man, imagine you buy 2 seats on the plane and they try to make you give up a seat. Are you wrong for that? We're going to talk about it. We'll tell you what one woman's experience was in Under the Radar. In the meantime, hate it or love it. It's way up.
In the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and my girl Kim Osario is here with me today. And we're doing these under the radar stories, not necessarily in the headlines, but flying under the radar. Now, we fly a lot. So this woman has gotten some criticism online. She did a whole thread about what happened to her. She's 34 years old. She booked 2 seats on a flight. And that is because she's said, and this is her quote, because I'm fat, I booked an extra seat so everyone can be more comfortable. I know it sucks having to pay for an extra seat, but it is what it is. And so everything was smooth, she said. But then the woman who was sitting in her row had an 18-month-old and wanted her to squeeze into the one seat so that she could put her 18-month-old in that seat that this woman paid for. And she said no, she wasn't going to do that. She paid for both seats. And then the flight attendant told her to also squeeze into the seat, and she told the flight attendant no. Eventually, the woman was told to put her son in her lap because that was the plan from the beginning. You bought one seat, and you were supposed to put your child in your lap. You said your child is 18 months old. But she said she got a lot of dirty looks, and the woman was passive-aggressive for the rest of the flight. What do you think about that?
Woe is me. So I think if you bought 2 seats, you're entitled to 2 seats.
Yes.
But no one on the plane is going to know that you bought 2 seats unless you actually sit in the center of the 2 seats. And you can't do that because there's no seatbelt that will stretch that far. So it's kind of like, what are you going to do? You're going to have to deal with the passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, too bad. It's like you should have bought a second seat for your child instead of trying to be like, I want to put him on my lap and save some money and then think I can just...
Though I've done that.
What?
I waited until my kids, like, I used to try, I'm always trying to save a penny. Like, so I've like actually sat with my long child into one seat. But, you know.
People like you. All right, now let's talk about Temu. Now, Temu ads pop up on my timeline nonstop.
Yeah.
Right on Instagram. They do some amazing advertising. I'm always like, this is cute. And then I'm like, oh, it's only $2. Well, guess what they're selling now? Veneers. Temporary crown veneers for your teeth. In the picture, they look amazing, but Temu sometimes has those what I asked for versus what I got. So I don't know what this would look like in real life, but I'm looking at how much they cost. I'm actually on Temu. They have some that are $1.99. Those are almost sold out.
One of my biggest fears is that I'll have to get veneers at some point in my life. That's one of my biggest fears.
Well, Dr. Heavenly said there's nothing wrong with that. Have you ever had to get a crown or anything?
Not yet.
I had to get a crown, and so it is kind of like having a veneer. Oh, look, one woman actually bought the.
It looks like a one piece.
The
Is it a one
veneers,
piece?
and she bought it for her wedding, and it didn't turn out well. Oh wow, we're looking at this picture. And it is a little
you get
horrifying.
What you pay for.
There's no separation between the teeth. It's
right.
one.
It's like one tooth.
It's like a unitooth.
Unitooth.
All right. Well, that is your under the radar. You get what you pay for. And we got the Way Up mix at the top of the hour. Plus, we're gonna have Ryan Serhant joining us. You know him from Sell It Like Serhant, $1 Million Listing, and now he has a new book coming out, Branded Like Serhant. He'll be joined by Sarah Golan plus myself for an announcement. It's Way Up. It's a Wealth Wednesday.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip,
Talk to me.
Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Kim Osario is here.
Hey.
Hey, girl. And it's time for some Yee tea. Jon Stewart is returning to The Daily Show. He's going to be executive producing and he'll be hosting, but he only has to host once a week. And so he'll be on Mondays. You know, it's an important year. 2024 presidential election season is heating up, but there's going to be a rotating lineup of comedians who will also do the program for the rest of the week, Tuesdays through Thursdays. You know, it's been a long journey of them trying to find a new host. Yeah. Roy Wood Jr. was like, hire a host, please. And it is a critical time. So I think that's a big deal for them to convince Jon Stewart to return back. And I'm sure he's like, once a week, I can handle that.
I want that job.
Right. Once a week. All right. T-Pain almost had a song come out with Michael Jackson and Usher on it. He shared the clip of the song on Twitter, aka X. I don't think I'll ever call it X. But he talked about why that did not happen. The person that was in charge of doing the references got too excited. Here's that.
Keep playing with me. Ooh, you gon' be sorry. Hell, gonna stop explaining it to you. Gotta stop playing games, girl. Better be back, come on, everything back that I gave you until you stop playing games.
You're not jamming, Kim.
Unpopular opinion. I don't like it. I just don't.
Well, he wrote and produced it. It was meant for him, Usher, and Michael Jackson. The person who did the references was like, N-word, I'm on a song with Michael Jackson and Usher and T-Pain. And then he released it and Michael Jackson was like, nah, never mind. I don't want to do it.
Maybe Michael Jackson didn't like it.
Yeah, and it was a great excuse
right,
to not put it out. But in all fairness, we didn't get to hear it in its entirety, and maybe it was never finished and references, and it would probably have sounded different.
What year?
I don't know what year this was in, but clearly a while ago.
It felt like a while ago.
Yeah. All right, Montclair has a new Rock Nation collaboration designed by Jay-Z. The entire collection releases on January 24th, today, at select Montclair stores and also on their website. So you can go and take a look. I don't know if you had a chance to see any of these. I think I have a couple of Montclair coats. And my favorite one, I have a Valentino collab that I love. And then I like a vest from Montclair. It's like a long vest. And so those are my favorite ones. And they do last forever.
But is that his collab? This is just like a regular Montclair.
It does kind of
look like, what's the Rock Nation spin on that?
There's a logo.
Right. I see the ears of the hat. They kind of resemble Mickey Mouse. I don't know. I don't know.
You're not sold on this.
I'm so picky. I know that's so bad. I'll never get sponsorship.
All right. Well, that is your Yee tea. And when we come back, Kim Osario is here. Who is this opinionated woman? Well, we're going to find out. When we come back, she is an acclaimed journalist with the credentials, and she's an attorney. I just want to say that. Put that out here.
Technically.
We're going to talk about it. It's Way Up.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
Come right back.
More now.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and a real life friend is here. Kim Osario is here with me. And for those of you who may not have been familiar with the name, you know a lot of her work that you've seen her do. But Kim, we just want to take a moment to talk about all your accomplishments. I know you as a journalist, and by the way, never knew that you went to New York. You went to law school?
Yeah,
New York Law School.
You never knew that?
I did not.
When you didn't see me at the club back then? That's where I was. I was in school.
Okay. Well, good. Listen, brilliant young lady, who, by the way, was the first ever woman editor-in-chief of The Source. And actually, Londell, when he purchased The Source, brought you back.
Yes, he did.
He did. Back to The Source. That's the impression that you left.
Yeah.
And also, as an author, you wrote a book called Straight from the Source.
Yes.
I want to ask you this because some people feel like when they wrote their books, I know when I spoke to Issa Rae, she was like, I think I did my book so early. It was, she was like, I would have made things like different. How do you feel about your first book now that you look back?
Timing is everything, right? Sometimes I look back, I haven't like read passages from it in a while, right? But sometimes when I'm like, I can't believe I said that.
It's like, yeah, she gets down dirty.
Yeah, I mean,
gritty,
I just, it was my truth.
And you went through a lawsuit with the Source.
I did.
So that was also important for you to have your side heard during that time. So that explains the law school. And then you were like, I'm doing this lawsuit. You knew exactly what you were doing.
I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that.
And earlier before the show, we were talking about how a lot of women are speaking out about things they've had to go through.
Yes.
And the different time period that we were in back then. And what was your lawsuit based on?
Mine, well, I sued for sexual harassment, discrimination, defamation, retaliation. There's a lot of legal stuff that I think people don't understand. But I think back then, the timing, it was a little early.
Right.
So, whereas now, if you would file a lawsuit like that, a lot of people support women and support like speaking out. But even though it was 2002, it still feels like a lifetime ago, just in terms of where we were as women, right? So I feel like there was a lot of sort of like, oh my God, you shouldn't do that. You're going to ruin your career.
Yeah, and did it in any way? Because I know a lot of times we can be hesitant to speak our truths because people don't believe you. People will attack you for it. Right. People have jokes. They don't take it seriously. But did you have any type of repercussions when you did that lawsuit? Because your career is thriving today, but I don't know if there was a period of time that you felt blackballed.
I think there was like, a couple of years where it was really hard for me to get back on my feet. It was like, the one thing you don't do is you don't sue. But me, I was like, hold on a second. You did what? That's against the law.
And you won the lawsuit.
I did. I won on retaliation and defamation. It is very hard to win a case in sexual harassment.
Because it is
on that claim.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
just
kind
really
of a hearsay, like one person says one thing, the other person says another.
It's really the legal requirements of what you need to prove in court. And I was in federal court, so you have to have a unanimous jury.
Okay.
Right? A unanimous decision. And a federal court is just a lot different. And so it was there have to be repeated instances and you have to be able to prove it, and
everyone
it's
has
really
to unanimously say yes, this happened.
It's really complex. So a lot of people are like, well, wait, you didn't win on that claim. I'm like, well,
that doesn't mean it's not true.
Right. And it doesn't mean I didn't feel offended. See, nowadays, if a woman says she's offended, everyone's like, wait, well, you offended her. And I think back then, for me, it was kind of like, well, I don't really know if that's offensive. Well, that's just the industry. And that's how, and to hear about some of those things nowadays, people are like, oh my God, that's what's happening. It's like, yeah.
Finally, some support.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we have more Kim Osario when we come back. And we also have Ask Ye. 800-292-5150. You see her credentials, okay? So if you have any questions right now, call us up. We are here to help you out for Ask Ye. 800-292-5150. Kim Osario is here.
It's relationship or career advice. Angela's dropping facts.
All you should know.
This is Ask Ye.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Kim Osario is here with me today, acclaimed journalist, executive producer. And it's time for Ask Yee. 800-292-5150. We have somebody on the line. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. What's your name?
My name is Christian.
Christian, what's your question?
So I turned 27 this year, and I'm stuck at a job that I don't really like in an industry that I'm not the happiest in, and I feel like maybe it's too late to start working towards music and radio.
27 is so young. You know, when I started doing radio, I was 28.
Really?
Yeah, that was my first year doing radio. 27 is very young. A lot of people out there, 27, still don't know what it is that they want to do. And I feel like that is a way to talk yourself out of following your dreams, because sometimes we're scared that it may not work.
You're never too old. 70 is the new 40.
You took it too far, Kim.
That's true.
What is it that you want to do?
Honestly, I love music. I've always loved music. I dance, I pole dance, I instruct, but my biggest passion has always been singing. I was raised in the church choir. When I got to school, I started in the school choir, and after I graduated, I just kind of lost touch with that inner voice that I had.
Okay, so let's hear a little something.
I'm gonna sing you Still with her. Grandma and passed in church on Sunday morning. Grandma and played a tambourine so well. Grandma and used to shut out a one, and she said, Billy, don't you run so fast. Might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass, Grandma.
Kim, what you think?
I love it, but are you 27 for real?
I'm 27 for real.
You got an old soul.
Old soul.
So what performances have you been doing?
As far as performances, I've only ever just done, church stuff and school events, things like that. I auditioned for American Idol once and didn't make it, but,
That's okay. That might be a blessing in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
All things for the resume. All I know is that, if you love something, you can still have your job and pursue what you love until that takes off.
I think the biggest thing is that I've just been stuck at this job for so long that I've lost the inspiration,
You're not stuck anywhere.
No, it's never too late.
All right, you got to do things that make you inspired. And if that means you're going out to showcases, you're signing up for things, put yourself in uncomfortable situations so amazing things can happen.
Thank y'all. I really needed that.
Can people follow you? What's your page?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Dior is Dancing.
Dior is Dancing.
DIORISDANCING.
All right. Well, people, go and follow Christian and give him some support, some love. We're going to go see if you have some things posted on your pages, too, for us to see. Okay?
Nothing singing, but I do have a lot of dancing. I'll warn y'all.
All right. Well, put some singing up there, too, if that's your passion.
All right, Miss Angela. Yeah, I got you.
We are accountable to ourselves. That was your Ask Yee. 800-292-5150 is a number. And when we come back, we do have a Wealth Wednesday. Sarah Golan is going to be joining us. She is my personal broker. And Ryan Serhant, you know him from $1 Million Listing and Sell It Like Serhant. He is a brand expert. We'll be talking about some Wealth Wednesday things. And I have an announcement. It's way up.
Had a dream of living wealthy,
and I don't mind sharing my wealth, dog.
Getting you straight financially, mentally, and physically. This is Wealth Wednesday on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and this is exciting for me because this is one of my favorite things to talk about. Today, branding and real estate. We have Sarah Golan here, who is my broker. I talk about you all the time, so everybody knows you. And Ryan Serhant is here as well.
Hello.
Sell It Like Serhant and also Brand It Like Serhant.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I feel like people also are so familiar with you from when you were on $1 Million Listing too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, Sarah, I first met Sarah. She sold me my first ever house.
Yeah.
And it was early on in Sarah's career, but since then, we've done a lot of different things together. I told you I have another brownstone that I just recently posted that I've been working on for 3.5 years. But we're near the finish line finally.
Almost there. It's going to happen.
Yeah. You had a brownstone that was 4 years in the making. You have a brownstone that's 4 years in the making.
I showed it for sale.
You made a show about that, right?
I did make a show about that, yeah.
And you said you would never do a renovation again.
I mean, never say never.
But you did say it at the time.
I know. It was painful. And it was...
I feel you.
It was one budget and one amount of time. And it ended up costing me like 4 times as much and taking 4 times as long. I'm not trying to talk it. I mean, doing a renovation I think is awesome. Once you're done, you basically get to live in your dream home. Mm-hmm. But you just have to make sure you work with the right professionals.
Which is hard because it may seem like the right person because everybody when they come in and they're trying to sell you a service, they are amazing. And then sometimes it works out and a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's why I tell people when they want to do a renovation, if you want to do real estate, you have to have enough money for things to go wrong too.
Yeah, you got to have that cushion. You got to budget plus. Mm-hmm. But listen, the best real estate investments out there, whether it's your home or investment property, are all renovated homes, right? It's all value creation. And that's really what you're doing.
Right now, I'm talking to Ryan Serhant. You know him from Serhant Real Estate Agency. You started in 2020, right? With the real estate, with your own
with
company.
My own company, yeah.
So what made you know that that was the right time to step out and leave your former agency?
Sarah Golan told me to. She was like, go, this is the worst time ever. That means it's the best time ever. Yeah, we were going to do it a little bit earlier, but it was we then made the determination, okay, 2020, the beginning of a new decade, 2020 is going to be the best year ever. And then people started getting sick. But it was, we've always done big things at the absolute worst time. Like, I got my license to sell real estate the day Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy in 2008. But I also think like the best time to do things is when everyone else is scared and pulling back, because life always finds a way. Unless it's a comet that is going to kill the planet like it did the dinosaurs, life finds a way.
Right.
Like, as we think about COVID, like, it's been 5 years since 2019.
Do you know what she did? She went on FaceTime showings with me
Yeah.
during COVID. Yeah.
So that was actually probably the time when I was like, I would like to get my real estate license also. During the pandemic, Sarah was doing her showings, and it was the two of us. She would go to a showing to go on FaceTime and show people, and I would just go with her because a lot of them were in my neighborhood where I live. And so I decided to start taking my real estate classes online.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't finish.
Yeah.
Right? I just was like, all right, let me just take these classes so I can, learn more about it.
Sure.
And then afterward, I was like, you know what? Let me go back and finish these classes and take the test and get my license. And I did.
Boom.
And listen, people talk about real estate is great. And so I would never, I love it. I've invested in several different properties, but it's not a surefire thing. Like, people always try to act like real estate, but everything is not a great deal.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got to be smart. You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to look at comparable properties. Don't ever purchase anything that has a quote unquote guaranteed return. Like, you're always going to get burned. Right. And sometimes when you're paying too much, it's actually a good thing because you're paying for something premium. A lot of the best returns on investments, whether people live there or didn't, is when they bought, they felt like they were overpaying and there was cheaper property to buy. And now when they go to sell, their buyer is now overpaying for their property, and those cheap properties they passed on are still cheap.
Right.
But I'm super excited for the two of you, and you're going to crush it.
I'm coming in under Sarah. That's our first time really announcing it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll be joining the Serhant team. I'm part of the Sarah Golan team.
Amazing.
She's at Serhant.
Yay!
Yes.
Welcome. Let's go.
All right, Ryan Serhant is here and Sarah Golan. And as promised, that was my big announcement. I am joining Serhant's real estate agency. I'm excited to be part of the whole process. We have more with them when we come back. It's Way Up.
And I don't mind sharing my wealth, dog.
Getting you straight financially, mentally, and physically. This is Wealth Wednesday on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. You may or may not know, but I am now officially a real estate agent and officially part of the Serhant Real Estate Agency. Ryan Serhant is here, and so is Sarah Golan. Now, what about negotiating fees for the broker? Because
hot topic right now.
Yeah, I see that is a hot topic. So I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
I think that you get what you pay for. The market decides at the end of the day. If real estate commissions were too low, we would know. If they were too high, they'd be brought down by the marketplace. And the commission's lawsuit that I think you're referring to, that's been in the news in the state of Missouri, which is where that was brought about against the buy side fees being required payments of the seller. But what they don't really think about is it's done to create fairness in the marketplace. Otherwise, you have bad actors who control listing volume and do price fixing. So you can get around that by saying, hey, everyone should be represented. And I think at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I know it's under appeal or trying to be thrown out. I have no idea. I think it's just going to create just more transparency and clarity on fees. And I think that's probably fine.
Yeah, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because I also see there's like online brokerages that will do
fixed fees and flat fees.
And
stuff.
really low, a really low fee also.
Yeah, and I think you get what you pay for.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to go to a fixed fee doctor. Like, I don't know. I only have one life to live. Or you go to someone once told me with as far as service goes, like especially with, lawyers. Good lawyers are expensive. Bad lawyers cost a fortune.
Right. I can see why. Right now I'm talking to Ryan Serhant. You know him from Serhant Real Estate Agency, and Sarah Golan, also from Serhant Real Estate Agency. Well, another thing that's very transparent that we'll find out about you is they're doing a Harvard case study.
Yeah.
About Ryan Serhant.
Oh, they did one, yeah.
Yeah, so can you explain this and how this even came about?
Yeah. They reached out to me, I guess, almost 2 years ago. And at first I didn't think it was real because like someone from Harvard reaches out to you. Like, no, we'd like to write a case study on you for Harvard Business School. It's like, all right, what's it about? Sales, real estate, branding? What's it going to be? And they're like, no, the most interesting thing about you is your time management. And they spent a year writing it.
What did you learn
wild.
about yourself?
I learned that I view time as a currency. It was more as a way to get over like loss because, you know, especially early on in the real estate business, you know, you lose a deal and it pisses you off and you take it personally and it ruins your day. You just lost a day of your life because of an emotion. Like if someone yelled at me for 15 minutes, if those 15 minutes were dollars and then I had $1,000 in my pocket, I wouldn't say, well, screw the $985 in my pocket and light them on fire. I'd probably say, good thing I have $985 to go invest in and use. Mm-hmm. And so I created this thing called the 1,000-minute rule, just to really help me emotionally move forward as productively as possible during the day, where you have 1,440 minutes a day, 440 of those roughly you are sleeping, eating, and then on average we all have about 1,000 minutes a day to work, be productive, go to school, do whatever it is that you do. And so how are you using those minutes wisely?
That's amazing. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to be joining you.
I'm excited to have you. Let's go.
And then you have Branded Like Serhant. So the book is coming out February 6th.
February 6th.
That's your third book.
Yes, I forgot to bring it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And Sarah, you guys will be seeing Sarah and I online also because we plan to do a whole lot of content as well. And we're already plotting it out. So thank you.
Stay tuned for Angela's Reno show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you guys watch the full interview on my YouTube channel, Way Up with Yee. And when we come back, you guys, of course, have the last word.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and I had fun guest hosting with my friend Kim Osario today.
I had fun too.
She came in here with her sunglasses, matching her nails.
Yes, I did.
So make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel, Way Up with Yee. Thank you again to Ryan Serhant and to Sarah Golan for coming through and joining me today in my announcement that I am now officially a real estate agent, passed my exam, and also have joined the Serhant agency. So thank y'all so much. We're ready to start selling houses. I want to help people get into their first house ever, help people negotiate deals that they feel comfortable with, represent you in selling your home, and all with an amazing team behind us. Because Serhant is not only a real estate agency, but they also have a lot of digital. They have a digital team that's amazing.
Great.
So yes.
Buy me a house.
Listen. Kim may be selling her house. No. But Kim Osario, thank you for joining. Y'all don't understand. This woman is so busy as an executive producer, always working on different shows. Like we said, I wanted you to come up here in particular because you have a new show out right now that just started on Monday.
That's right. Watch The Impact on VH1 at 9 p.m. on Monday.
And you really care about the people who you work with, which I think is nice. And some people you don't care about. But the ones that you do, you really care for. All right. Well, you guys, again, as usual, you all have the last word.
Angela Yee, sugar daddies have been there for years.
Hey, love. This is Seale. I'm calling from Mobile, Alabama. I'm 21 years old, and I'm shining the light on myself only because a year ago from now, exactly, I was almost homeless. And now I'm about, in 2 more months from now, I'm about to foreclose on a house that I signed off on. For me and my little brother, since it's just me and him against the world. So I'm shining the light on myself.
What's up? I want to give a shout out to my wife, Karen Lewis, representing NOLA in Alabama. She's playing Zora Neale Hurston in the Africatown play called Ocean in My Bones. I want to give her some love and give her a shout out on the Angela Yee Show. Thank you so much for giving us this platform to shine a bright light on Miss Karen Lewis, turning 3 to the 5th eye. Much love. This is her husband. Peace.
Going way up, turn up with Angela Yee.